Hey, I'm Mastin Kipp, best-selling author of the book Daily Love, Growing into Grace, and creator of Daily Love TV. Welcome to this week's episode, and this week we are going to talk about how to end and break the cycle of addiction. For me, I have been addicted to many things. I've been addicted to methamphetamines and cocaine. I've been addicted to sugar. I've been addicted to significance and success. It's been a very rough, difficult patch for me over the last decade or so. I talk deeply about my addictions in my book, Daily Love, Growing into Grace. And along that way, over the last decade or so, I've also learned a lot of powerful tools about how to break the cycle of addiction. If you are in acute addiction, which means you are at a rock bottom with drugs or alcohol or shopping or gambling or sex or whatever the addiction might be, the first thing you got to do is you either got to get into some type of rehab or 12-step program where there is a very specific structure for you to work over the next few months to really help wean you off of what you're addicted to, with the help of mentors and with the help of sponsors and with the help of a very specific setup structure. When you're in that acute addiction, it's very important, life-saving, to get yourself into a 12-step program or into rehab so that you have that support. Once you are in that 12-step program or rehab, then you move into a different level of addiction where you're not just getting sober anymore from acute addiction. You're really looking at how can I improve the quality of my life. And one of the things I wish I would have known about addiction first getting started is that the things I was addicted to was I was really self-medicating. I was self-medicating because I didn't feel connection to myself or to the world. And biochemically in the brain, I was self-medicating because my brain had gotten used to being fed on the things that I was addicted to. So it was also a biochemical process of weaning myself off of all the things that I was addicted to and really getting my food right, getting my supplements right, getting, for me, sugar, getting L-glutamine into my body was very powerful. Bringing a yoga practice, Kundalini yoga or a Hatha yoga practice was very powerful. Getting around like-minded people who elevated me was very powerful as well. My friend Tommy Rosen talks about two parts of addiction. The first part is acute addiction, where you're in the 12-step program or rehab, and there's a second part where you've been sober for a while and you really want to improve the quality of your life, because sobriety by itself does not guarantee fulfillment. So the way in which you break the cycle of addiction is, first you have to admit that you have a problem. You have to be honest with yourself. Addiction is a place where we lie to ourselves, we lie to other people, you sneak off and hide it from people because there's a lot of shame and guilt there. The first thing is be honest about what you're addicted to. There's no shame, there's nothing wrong with that. And then get help, seek treatment, find a system to really get in and break that cycle where you admit that you're powerless and you invoke the will of a higher power into your life. Now, I'm not a spokesman for the 12-step process. However, as a mentor and as your coach, I'm recommending that if you want to break the cycle of addiction, get into a rehab, get into a 12-step process, get into a structure of supportive people who can help you through that process, and then look at your biochemistry. Right? If you get your blood work done, look at your blood work, look at your lipid profiles and see how well you manage sugar, see how well you manage proteins and fats, because the foods that we put into our body also, equalize our body. And when you can start to feed your body properly, cravings decrease. This is some of the latest studies of science that we're starting to see with mentors of mine like Dr. Philip Goley, and his book, Turn Up the Heat, really helps us understand that, the way in which we feed our body, cravings can decrease. And a craving is really a call for self-care and to really understand what your body truly needs. The other thing is that to give yourself a break and realize that the addictive cycle is really trying to self-medicate. For me, I had massive ADD and I tried to self-medicate with methamphetamines and with cocaine, and that was a way for me to focus. And then I started to realize there's a diet protocol for that, there's a proper exercise protocol for that, there's proper supplementation for that. And on top of that, really, addiction is a path looking for a higher power or God or the divine in all the wrong places. So developing and cultivating that spiritual path as well is a very powerful place. So find a mentor, find a structure, get sober, admit that you have a problem to yourself, and then once you're through that place of acute sobriety, start to step into a more fulfilling path, asking questions like, what's my purpose? Being courageous about expressing your truth, learning to forgive old resentments, forgiving yourself for that process, and beginning to take courageous action towards your purpose. And really nourishing your body well, hydrating your body well, moving your body well. These are the tools I wish I had had when I was first beginning my recovery from addiction. As a recovered addict, I can tell you that this holistic approach is a very powerful approach. I highly recommend the book Recovery 2.0 by my dear friend Tommy Rosen. It's an incredible look into the recovery 2.0 movement, which is really recovery past acute addiction into living a more fulfilling life. If you know someone who is in acute addiction or is having a hard time breaking the cycle, please feel free to send them this video. It could be life-saving for them to really get this information to begin the process of recovery in their life. You might be watching this video over on YouTube or over on Facebook. I'm going to encourage you to come on over to thedailylove.com, and below this video, leave a comment and let me know, how are you going to break the cycle of addiction in your life? You might be addicted to Facebook. Depends on what it might be, right? There's lots of different types of addictions. How are you going to break the cycle of addiction in your life, and how are you going to learn to pay that forward to serve other people as well? Also, please feel free to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube so that you can get immediate updates the next time I post my weekly free video. My most important wish and my greatest desire for you is to get out there, take action, and make it real. We'll see you next week.